can see this. Top until now, we have seen what is top N and rank. Like I said, in top N, we covered a little more compared to my past videos. And we compared and contrasted the difference between these two. And also rank, we have seen how to perform the nested ranking also in the previous session. And today we will continue with exploring these functions, and followed by that we will take some other functions. And the summarizing the data, aggregating the data is one of the important tasks or commonly performed task in any data analytics project to get to get more insights. So now what we'll do is we'll go and explore these functions, the summarize, columns, and roll up. Roll up is very much helpful. You can use it in conjunction with your summarize function. With roll up, you can get the subtotal also. Okay. Look here, this is my DAX Studio. It is an open source. You can also go ahead and download it from the Google. Just go and type DAX Studio space download, and you will find this some software, and then you just download it and then install it. The installation, then the download will not take much time. Installation also is pretty straightforward. Don't make any changes to the configuration. Simply click on the exe file and next it will get installed. Okay. And then go to the start window, type DAX Studio and press enter. It will get launched. And once you open the DAX Studio, look here. So you have different options here: Power BI, SSDT model, table or server. What you do is you select the Power BI SSDT model, Power BI. Okay, so here what you do is you see, in this case, in my case, I have opened two report files: opening and closing balance and corrected MTD QTD balance. So here you need to click on the drop down and select whichever file that you want to work with it. So for the, I want to connect to this report file via DAX Studio. I'm going to hit connect. So DAX Studio, now it connects to my one of the report files. And that report files, what are the tables and measures that I create, everything you can see it on the left side, including the date table, the automatic date table created by Power BI. We can see it here. Okay. So if you click on here, you can see all the columns that belongs to each table, right? You can expand it and you can collapse it by clicking on this icon. Now we will work with the summarize functions. So this is your DAX Studio. Okay, so how to navigate is pretty simple. Okay, on the right side you can type your query here, and here on the left side, as soon as you connect to any report file, you'll find the tables that belong to that report file on the left side here. So now I'm going to try the aggregation function called summarize. So the syntax for this is summarize function. And then inside the parenthesis, the first argument is supposed to be a table name, because the summarize function takes the first argument as a table. Hence, you have to specify the table. Followed by that, you need to specify the columns which you want to perform group by. Okay. So here, so I'm going to use on the left side, we can see that we have sales data, and sales W04 is there. Here I just specify the sales underscore W04 data, and the table name, comma, the group by column name. So what is the group by column name? Here I'm going to use some sales underscore W04. And here we will start with the simple example category, and then group by this column and perform total here. Okay, and here what to do is total sales sum of sales underscore W04 and here the sales. That's all. If I select everything, and if you click on the run button here, hope you can see the run button here, right? So if you click on this query will get executed. Or alternatively, select this one, press F5 key in your keyboard. So it throws an error. So the syntax, everything is correct, but when it comes to DAX, so you need to use something called evaluate. Followed by that, use the curly brace. Open curly brace, close the curly brace. And then what you do is you just select this one. Yeah, total sales. So this is the column I want to group it, category column. And so you know very well, even in SQL query, if you want to use a group by, if you want to perform group by, obviously you need to use some function, aggregation function. And also, whenever you want to perform any aggregation, like sum or average, you have to do group by. In SQL, the same thing is applicable here also. Here I'm going to press F5 now, and still it shows some problem. Expression, multiple columns cannot scale or value. Okay, it returns multiple columns here. Why it is returning multiple columns? Let's go and check in the output, the results. Sorry, results here, right? So nothing is shown. And okay, here summarize. It's correct, right? It's correct only. Sometimes, right, you need to specify the single quote. Inside the single quote, you need to say, I think this is not a problem. Let's see what happens. And here, this is for some function, correct? And this is for this. Query batch computer listed above. Expression refers to multiple columns. Multiple columns cannot be converted to scalar value. Okay, the first argument is table name, and second one is the group by category. Group by category. 1 second, sorry. Problem. Yeah, now it's working fine. I think the curly brace is not working fine. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. It's a crazy thing. Look here, now it's the query output. We can see it. This query got executed. So here we can see that the total sales by category, we can see it here, right? So that's what we can see it here. So here the total sales by category. Look here, with this you're able to understand. So this is for the column name for the aggregated. So this is for this one. This is for this one, okay? So for this, if you don't specify the column name, it will simply say no column, okay? So hence, we give some meaningful column name. That is what this one, column name. And then the aggregated function is sum here. You can also use average and everything. If you want round, you can round it off, you can put it in a round function, okay? A round, because we could see that so many, decimal values are there here. And then I'm going to press F5. So, okay, there is a problem here. The round function, sorry, here I should not put. So this is some function. Yeah, now it is rounded correctly. Good. So you can use it this way. Next one is the, so you have, what else? What are the things that we can do? So next one is we will use the roll up function, okay? I just copy paste this one to save time. And what I'm going to do is now here, followed by this, I'm going to specify roll up here. Roll up function. Inside this, you can say group by column name. In the roll up, what I do is sales W04. And then in the square bracket, I'm going to say region. Comma, I'm going to use another column called, so these are the group by columns, the region, and we will use segment column, okay? Sales W04, segment column. I'm going to close this one, the roll up. And here now, This one is not required. Press F5. Look here. It is now. See, previously we mentioned the column which you want to group by here explicitly. Now, instead of specifying it like this, I have specified this inside a rollup function. I have specified this inside a rollup function. In the rollup function, I mentioned the columns that I want to group by it, and then round sum of sales by. So now it is doing perfect job. But the difference here is, and since I mentioned about the region, right, region and segment, we can see that in region and segment, right, in each region, it gives me the total sales breakdown. Okay, here it is not sales by category. It's total sales by region and segment. So it gives me the breakdown of total sales by region, by segment. That is what we can say. But at the end of it, if you see here, look here, the East alone, it shows, right? Here it gives me the total sales, how much total sales we made in East region alone. If somebody asks you, you can answer them with this question. Similarly, Oceania is another region. Only in this region, how much total sales we made in this region. Okay, around sales comma 2. Okay, let us scroll down and see here. North, east, west. Let me do one thing. Well, I don't think so. I can. Yeah, I think I can do it. Okay. Here now, if you see the east region now, correct. Because east region now it shows, look here, 62,301, right? So 6,23,000 here. So there is a blank value here, guys. In the data set, I have some blank value. That's what I was wondering. How come East region alone put together only 6,999? So it should add all the segment values, right? Irrespective of the segment, if you want to see total sales we made in East region, it should add these values. But I saw this value 6,999. Right, so I thought that was the East region's total sales, but East region, we have 3 categories are there. All the 3 categories, if you add it, it will be more than this value. It cannot be 6,999, right? It tricked me. So now when I know very well about this data, the East region, we have some blank value here. Okay, so in the segment, okay. So actually we have only 3 segments, but there are some transactions, the segment column has some blank values in it. Okay, so that is the reason why this conversion. Actually, this is the total sales we made in East region. It gives me the total sales across all the 3 segments, all the 4 segments, including the blank. So 3,16,000, 4 lakh plus this one, almost 5 lakhs, right? 5 lakhs and 1,16,000, 6 lakhs something, right? And 23, 16 plus X, 22, 23. Now it is giving me the correct answer. So, in case you encounter this kind of issues, yes, you should be knowing it. In case of any issue with your data also, you should be knowing it how to troubleshoot. See, there are no problem with the syntax of the query and output is producing it correctly. But, what you do is sometimes you might get confused when you see something like this, because the rollup function, it helps us to perform the group by on the 2 columns here. If you want to perform group by on the combination of 2 columns, that is possible. And also the role of rollup function is it not only groups the data based on these 2 columns, but also it gives me the total sales we made in this column as well as this column. Okay, and you might tend to get confused if you have blank value in your segment column or something like that. Okay, so hence ideally you can click on the column which you use it in your group by first, right? So once you click on it, it will become ascending order. With that, we are able to understand we have one more record for East. 62,301. Similarly, EMEA, we can see that EMEA, here, I think EMEA, we don't have any blank value for this segment. So it gives me the 6 lakh 84, the North region, North Asia, everything is good. Look here, the same issue we can see it in Oceania. Oceania also, we have some blank value in the segment column. So this is the one, and Oceania, all the total sales put together, how much sales here, right? That is what it shows. Now you are able to understand roll-up function not only does the group by operation, but also it gives us the group by column ones total sales, or it gives me the subtotal for each group separately, also along with the grouped values. That is what we are able to understand now with the roll-up function. Okay, now the question is, how can I, and if you scroll down here, you can see the same thing, very good. Everything looks pretty good. And you can see another thing here, right? So it not only gives me subtotal, it gives me the grand total. Okay, all the transactions you added, and then give me the totals. Yes, that is what we can see here. I just click on it once again, and if you go at the bottom, you can see this is a grand total. Got it? Very good. So next one is, okay, I just use the same thing. We are going to include some other columns. Instead of working with only, these two columns, I'm going to use number of transactions. We want to see how many number of transactions happened in each region. And here I just put comma at the end, and then I put here the count, sorry, the row count. Here, I'm going to say sales underscore W04. Count, right? So it gives me the total sales. Like you said, Swarna, yes. So our question is, can we use only some function? Why all the time some function? Yes, row count. You can use all the aggregation. You can likewise, you can put comma if you want to see the average sales, you can see it here. So in each region consumer segment, this is what a total number of transactions happen. Look here, only one transaction, we have blank value here, right? In the kind of segment column. And but if you want to see the thing, right, the total sales, you just sort it in ascending order. You can see that. Look here, 500, 600 almost, 800,000 something, right? Total number of transactions 1172, including this one. So these four record value got added, and it gives me this much transactions we made in each region. Okay, now these are the ways that you can troubleshoot it. Okay, in case you don't get something, you can check the transactions also. If when you see something 1 year, there is something wrong here. Okay, and east region, look here, if you see here the total sales we made in east region alone 6,23,000, but here the number of transactions should be more. If you see 1 year, there is something wrong, right? So maybe one more record is there, you sort it in ascending order, you can see it here. Okay. Okay, so next one is the summarize columns. As the name suggests, you can use columns. Okay, this one you cannot use the table function. Look here, it gives me the table, right? It returns multiple columns, the summarize function. And if you want to return only the single column, then you can use the summarize columns. So what is this evaluate? Evaluate is specific to the DAX Studio. You can watch my video. Those of you joined late, right? You can watch my videos from the beginning. Okay. And let me do one thing. Sales. Category. And here, sorry, here roll up. Okay, we'll try something roll up. I'm not sure, that one will work with this one. So yeah, the column name, you need to specify the column name. That is the group by column. Again, there is no point in putting roll up. And here I'm going to use something called filter function. Filter function, the first argument is supposed to be your table name, and the second one is total sales, something like that. And sorry, here I'm going to use the filter condition. Category is equivalent to sales W04. My God, sales W04, and here category. Close the parenthesis, and in the next line, summarize columns. Here we can specify the column name, and then the sum of the grouped column name. Okay, the aggregated column name. Totals is here. I'm going to use the sum function. And then to close that, we need another parenthesis. Look here, when you keep the cursor here, you can see that there is a matching. So wherever you have mentioned the open parenthesis, you need to have the corresponding closed parenthesis. And when you click on it here, you can see that, yeah, sum is a function. You need to close it with this one. Everything looks fine. And let's see if I execute this, if this works fine. It is not showing any data here, right? Let us see the output. The queries, see, in this case, we don't have any issues here. Filter, we filter the data. Yeah, correct. When I press F5, we are not getting anything here. The consumer segment, let me do one thing. I just check. Yeah, we have the consumer segment is there. And filter function, I use the filter function here. Let me do one thing. I will just copy this one again. I'm going to remove the filter now, and we'll start with a simple example. We will see that sales W04 and category and total sales. Okay, let us see if this works fine. And yeah, and this one is, yeah, now this one works well. So in this case, the summarize columns, it takes the first argument as a column name. So which column you want to group by, okay? So this is what we can see it here. Total sales and sum of, okay, your question is there any way can I use more than one column to do the group by? Yes. So this is, let's go step by step. In this case, it is working fine, right? The summarize columns. When I use the filter, it is not working here. Maybe we will use the single equal sign instead of using the double equal sign. Filter is not working here because in the second argument, you are supposed to specify the, one second, you can use it here, right? So the column name, filter table. Yeah, filter table, I mentioned it, but still it is not doing the perfect job here. sales W04, and it is correct only, right? Consumer. Okay, let me try technology. Sorry, so category, it's not category, right? Sorry, it should. See, I tried the wrong value. Consumer is a segment value, right? There is no category by the name of consumer, right? That is the mistake. Look at technology alone. It shows me now it works fine. Correct. That's what I was wondering. Okay. So, right, sometimes you might tend to make a mistake like this, right, due to oversight, or you might be preoccupied with something else. So, there is nothing called consumer category. Technology category is there, furniture category is there, and you have some other category, right? Furniture, technology, and what else? Yeah, so consumer technology, where is this one here? Yeah, this is the one, right? F5, technology, furniture, office supplies, correct. So there is nothing called, we gave the wrong value. That's the reason why it is not retrieving anything. It's correct only. Okay. So now we are done with the summarized columns also. Okay, your question is, Swarna's question is there any way can I do group by on more than one column? I don't think so, because it is taking the first argument as the column name. Here you need to use the, yeah, we'll try that one also, sales underscore W04, and here segment. Priyanka, I discussed this at the initial. Okay, you watch my video. Okay, this is a free where you can go and download it, Google it. Okay. Let me do one thing here. I just use this one. I don't think so. You can use, let me do one thing without the parent. I think yes. When you use the second column, that will become a third argument. Okay. So in that case, um, yeah, you can use it directly like this. When you press F5, no, I think I made a mistake. Yeah, F5. Sales W04, right? So you can use more than one column also, right? The combination of in the consumer segment, in technology, how much sales we make. In corporate segment, in technology, how much we make. Homework. See, here there is no, so when you use a filter, we filtered only the technology, right? So in that case, you don't need these two columns. In this case, this doesn't make any sense. You can remove it, and then you can see it here, okay? Yes, even in the case of summarized columns, you can perform group by based on more than one column, okay? So the summarized columns and summarized functions we discussed, and the roll-up function also we discussed. Next one is, yeah, that's all. We are done with the aggregation functions. Here you can use the minimum, maximum, average, wherever it is required. Instead of some function, you can use that one, okay? Okay, the other question by Swarna is, why do I need to use DAX function? See, in the case of DAX function, this is a DAX studio, right? The advantages here is you can check how much time each query is taking. For example, here you will find something called server timings and query plan, everything. Okay, and when you click on the server timings, when you click on the server's timings, look here, there is something called server timings tab got added here, right? Now, if you go and select and press F5, it will take some time. It will show you, all right, so how many iterations it takes, or how much time it takes in each place. Formula engine, storage engine. We discussed at the beginning of the session, right? In DAX, The formula engine, it takes 10 milliseconds. Storage engine takes 78 milliseconds. Total, both put together, 88 milliseconds. So in the storage engine, it takes more time. If the formula engine takes more time, then nothing can be done, because the formula engine is the one responsible for accepting and processing your queries and generating the query plan. The formula engine, it accepts the DAX query one after the other. It accepts the DAX query in sequence. It cannot accept all the DAX queries in parallel. Hence, you will find some kind of bottleneck here. But in this case, the storage engine, it can do parallel tasks, right? So hence, if it is more, let it be there. But only thing is, the storage engine takes more time. It is fine, because there only it is doing all kind of process. On the right side, we can see the duration, how much time it takes. This is your for this statement, right? The first statement. So for doing the category sum of sales W04 aggregation, it takes more time. And here what happens is, it simply query the data. That's all. And it gives me the estimated size, volume. Okay, how many number of records are there, and bytes, marshalling bytes, all the things. Okay. This is storage engine cache. This is storage engine queries. Okay. Here, the storage engine, there are two queries, and cache is 2, is there 100% full. So this much detail you can get it. So for example, if I try to rewrite this query, okay, and let's say you use some other logic, you execute this one, and the simple, see here what we did, we just did, you can use the calculate function, right? You can use calculate function, calculate sum of sales, and yeah, there you cannot do group by. So in the calculate function, you cannot do group by. The summarize function only you can do. So is there any other way can I do group by? Summarize is the best function, right? So try to rewrite, for example, you have some other query you want to rewrite. Let's say you execute this query. The same query, what you do is try to rewrite with some other functions. And both should produce the same output. Both should produce same output. So in that case, right, you check which query is faster. So with the help of the server timings, you can find out. Okay. So you execute this query and see how much time it takes, and execute the re-return query. But both should give me same output. The reason why we are rewriting is you want to improve the query's performance. That is called your performance tuning, right? You want to some kind of benchmarking. For this query, I'm getting the output. If I rewrite this with some other logic, that is also producing same output. But which query is faster? Okay. So for that purpose, the server timings, and what is query plan? Query plan gives me the, it's very difficult to understand this. Right. So this is kind of your plan, how it access your query. Okay. So in that kind of situation, this is very much helpful. Logical query plan, probably we'll discuss it, later point in time. Okay. So now you understood what is summarize columns, and the roller function. Both of them are helpful. The summarize function takes the first argument as the table and returns multiple columns, whereas the summarize column, it requires a column name. But using summarize columns also, you can perform group by based on the combination of multiple columns. How many columns can I use it the maximum to perform group by? 32, I think so. Okay, 32 columns only you can do group by. Beyond that, you cannot do it. Fine. The next one is time intelligence function.